I want to talk about the sponsorship model, because this is something that I think that a lot of people need to hear, because negotiating your own sponsors, negotiating your own deals is where the real money is going to come from, right? So let's break this down. You host a room with some great people. These people also sponsor the room, and they're paying you upwards of $10,000 to do that. You got to tell me, how did you open up the conversation, and how can myself and other after hours entrepreneurs, how can we grab great sponsors for our Clubhouse rooms?
Sure. I think that's a great question. And okay, so first of all, you need to make sure that you have great quality content. You need to make sure that you're involved with some big name clubs that have a lot of members so that you can use that as leverage, right? And you need to make sure that you've got your clique on Clubhouse of influencers and people who are going to support you and you support them, just like me and you have done, right? Second of all, you need to prepare some sort of documentation or material. So I have a deck and a programming schedule. And essentially, I have a deck that talks about me, who I am, my stats, my social reach, my rate cards for social media, for podcast commercials, for Clubhouse now, and then the other Clubhouse rooms that don't even involve me. So I was telling you offline that I'm going to be selling Breakfast with Champions, which is literally the #1 room on Clubhouse every single day. They get over 20,000 people in and out. And so I told him I was doing sponsorships, and he was like, well, I want in on that, right? And so now I'm selling his room. I'm selling a room for Jordan Harbinger. Like I'm going to be selling other people's rooms too now. And so I put together all this documentation. I put together a programming schedule, and now we're running an email automation campaign, reaching out to the same brands who've sponsored our podcast, and going to see how that pans out. And it's just really interesting because, like I said, the brands are all over this. They want to be involved in Clubhouse, and there's no formal media company that is offering this. For podcast commercials, for example, there's Advertise Casts and Ad Results and all these different agencies. For Clubhouse, there's nothing. I think that there's like a web page that just popped up that's doing something similar to me as in terms of helping brands and influencers connect. But other than that, I haven't heard of any other platform or anything kind of facilitating these sponsorships.
No, I haven't either, which to your point gives you as the creator a lot of control, which I think is great, right? But it also is a challenge too, because there's no precedent as far as what is a room actually worth, and how can I prove that the room is worth that? So how do you go about selling that to someone? You say, hey, I'd like to have you sponsor a room that I host on Clubhouse. We range, let's say on average, 100 people at any given time. 100 people doesn't sound like that much, I wouldn't think.
Well, first of all, I would say it's usually 1,500 people. Like, let's say podcast office hours. Usually it's 1,500 to 2,000 people in and out of that room. In and out. You got DireCon stats, right? You can get all the people who are in the room. They even give you the Instagram and Twitter handles now. So what I've been doing is saying, well, not only will you get the live audience, but we'll retarget them on Instagram for you. And so we'll shoot everybody a DM who came to the event, even if they only came for a minute, and we'll give them the office hours notes. And we'll ask them for their email, and then we'll include you in that email as well, right? And so basically giving them a way to retarget the audience members, even giving them that list of here's all the Instagram handles, and you guys can do your own retargeting via paid ads if you want. And so I think closing the loop is the big differentiator in terms of the brands coming back and keep sponsoring the show. Then the other thing is like all these add-ons. So like social media, like not only do you get my live Clubhouse room, you get me promoting it on LinkedIn to my 100K followers. Not only do you get my live Clubhouse room, but we're going to record it and upload it to my podcast, and it's going to reach 25,000 people who listen to the episode, and we'll do a 90-second commercial for you. So it's like all these like add-ons that are worth something, right? Yeah. The other thing is when you invite influencers, so certain influencers, you may have to charge like an influencer fee or something like that. But for the most part, a lot of people just want to get their name out there and want visibility. And so it's a win-win for everyone to be recorded on my podcast, to be a part of it, right? And so you can leverage those influencers to promote the event too. So creating a flyer that has, Joey, if you guys know him on Instagram, he has 4 million followers. He's been doing some of my events. create a flyer for Joey. It has the brand's name on it. He puts it in his stories. Joey's happy because he's on my podcast. The brand is happy that they're getting exposed to 4 million people, and everybody wins. So I think it's just like coming up with these packages and these synergies and then putting a monetary value on it. The worst they could say is no. And what you can do to open the door is have a test price. So a lot of the times I give them like a reduced price and I say, okay, first test is this price. Also, same if you buy Ford, same price, right? This lower cost. And then if you want to continue one off, it's this more expensive price. So starting off with a test price is key too.
So Hala just laid down the exact framework on how to sponsor your room. This is actually brilliant, 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 brilliant.